Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This bromance between you guys.
Good morning.
Yeah, and I were classmates.
It comes from being classmates. Good morning, Mr. Efeni.
Good morning, Tundu.
Good morning, Mr.
Yes, the lady in red. Good. Let's start the newspaper review with these day newspapers, Nigeria's newspaper of records. The lead story: Federal Government World Health Organization target 20% of Nigeria's population for COVID-19 vaccination. Caution against trips to US, UK, others. We are committed to getting vaccines, says Osinbajo. Yes, according to this report, perhaps the headline not exactly capturing the story, because the story says the vaccine will first be given to 20% of the country's most vulnerable population when ready. Not necessarily 20% of Nigeria's population. That will be about 40 million Nigerians, but certainly for a country that has just tested 697,544, you will know that is a tall order. But the story is that 20% of the vulnerable population, and if we look at the schedule which UK is using, over 85, over 75, over 65, those are the vulnerable population. 20% of that in Nigeria will be a small number. Well, perhaps that is what our capacity can take. But we'll look at how other newspapers are reporting this story. The Nigerian Tribune: COVID-19, World Health Organization links 1 in 5 deaths in Africa to diabetes. Nigeria, others need debt relief. Osinbajo says getting vaccine of utmost priority for Nigeria. Yes, hopefully Nigeria is also in the queue to get the vaccine as soon as it is deployed. Daily Sun newspaper: yes, military retires 700 victims of Boko Haram. Affected personnel suffered amputation. Government puts number of Nigerians with disability at 31.5 million Nigerians. Yes, that story about those military men, soldiers affected by the Boko Haram fight, the battle, being retired, and the military saying that affected personnel suffered amputation, tells you the price Nigerian military paying for that fight on behalf of all of us. So we must continue to salute the gallantry of the Nigerian army as much as we expect that this fight has to be brought to a conclusion sometime soon, but not yet. The Punch newspaper: Ohaneze, Afenifere, ACF disagree over civilian joint task force recruitment into the army. ACF back action, says Nigeria in war situation. Federal government sectionalizing army. Afenifere: it's a big shame. Recruitment violates federal character principle, says Ohaneze. Recruiting only Borno civilian JTF contradicts principle of federalism, Middle Belt Forum. When I heard this story yesterday, I thought it was just bringing the civilian JTF closer to the army in helping them prosecuting the battle. But recruiting them straight into the army, well, clearly violates the Constitution, which states clearly that recruitment into the Nigerian military and other government agencies must be based on federal character. How you balance that up, the federal government and the Nigerian Military High Command needs to explain to Nigerians, because clearly it violates the Constitution when you recruit one section into the country, no matter how well-intentioned you may be, that idea may be. Now, the Nation newspaper, 753 Nigerian traders beg for evacuation from Ghana. Our lives under threat. Businesses shut. Federal government to address complaints. Yes, the problem between the Ghanaian authorities and Nigerian traders still very much in the news. Before long, we thought this will be dealt with at the diplomatic level and things would return to normalcy. But as it stands, all the legislative diplomatic shuttle by Gbajabiamila, Femi Gbajabiamila, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, and other top government officials on this Nigeria-Ghana face-off as it concerns the traders seem to have made no meaningful progress. Now, the Guardian newspaper, yes, the lead story, and there's a lead picture. Yes. First, the lead story, banks get risk-shy, engage agents. Customers pay more as 10%ers rule. Telcos blame banks for POS failure. NATCOM's call for more base stations upgrades. Well, the photograph there, yes, Ghana, African leaders mourn as Rawlings dies. Yes, J.J. Rawlings. The history of Africa will be incomplete without the mention of J.J. Rawlings. He came, he saw, he conquered, like him, love him, hate him. He has left his footprints in the sands of time in the African continent. That nobody can argue. But I'm sure, Ruben, you have so much to say about that. Now, Daily Trust newspaper, federal government must evacuating Nigerian traders from Ghana. Now, the foreign newspaper, yes, that's Daily Trust. Now, let's move over to the foreign newspapers. In the UK, the Guardian newspaper, the Guardian, Tory MPs warn Prime Minister, final chance to get a grip on chaos at number 10. Yes, after the departure of the closest aide of Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, yes, his topmost advisor, Dominic Cumming, may also follow. But parliamentarians, especially of the Tory party, are not finding it funny because when the spouse or fiancé, if you will, of the Prime Minister join other inner circle members to determine who should be promoted or not, then there's likely to be chaos. When there is the issue of the COVID pandemic, which the Prime Minister should focus on, and Brexit deadline just around the corner. But if we look at the Daily Express newspaper, the Daily Express of UK, Queen's vow to keep serving her country. Yes, if you think the Queen will retire or abdicate for some other person, one of the son or grandson to take over, you are mistaken. Even as she approaches another milestone, she's saying she will keep serving her country. For those of you who know Benin, like Ruben Abati, there is this popular pidgin English saying in Benin, Oba, let it go transfer. The Queen is saying, I'm going nowhere, I'll continue serving my country. Now, let's just quickly look at the New York Times. The New York Times in the US, officials rebuke Trump accusation of deleted votes. Yes, calls grow to brief Biden on security. Cabinet agency sees no sign of fraud. President Trump, yes, with the COVID-19 ravaging America, burning like wildfire across many states, President Trump is still with his phone, tweeting furiously falsehood and lies. But, of course, those officials have come out to say, no, there is no case, no evidence to support the kind of allegation President Trump has made so far concerning this election, which some of these officials describe as the most secure in American history, and that there is no evidence of any voting systems, that any voting systems were actually compromised, contrary to what President Trump has been tweeting. Ruben, Rufai,
I just want to jump on that. It was Homeland Security that came out to say that. And when Homeland Security can come out effectively to call an election, you should know it's as good as done. Trump is still, looking for cases here and there. His people at Fox News are still pretty much helping out because Fox News now is divided. Some hosts will not talk about him in good light, but the likes of Hannity and Ingram, I forget her surname now, will talk about Trump in good light. I say there's still something he can look at. He's still trying to fight cases here and there, but it's quite very tight for him. But I think the biggest one was Lindsey Graham, one of his biggest supporters, saying that Joe Biden too should be briefed. You should be giving security briefings every day. And you know what that means, obviously. I think this is called already. Trump should exhaust everything he wants to exhaust legally, but it won't really move the needle. And he should just accept it, really.
He's just following the atmosphere. He has nothing to
the game is up. The game is
I
up.
would like to comment further on something that is of more immediate relevance to us, which is the passing of John Jerry Rawlings, former president of Ghana. He was president for 11 years. I take the point that opinion is divided about him. He's been accused of murdering people, of being, a dictator for some time. But for the 11 years, for the 2 terms that he was a democratic president, he moved his country from food shortages, high inflation, depression. He democratized the country. He became a symbol for change and progress in Ghana. And it is not for nothing that many Nigerians over the years have spoken about the Rawlings treatment in Nigeria.
I didn't want to go there.
But we should know that there are many Nigerians who think that we need a Rawlings June 4 revolution in Nigeria. And he was a friend of Nigeria, as I keep saying. He was particularly, ironically, a friend of the late General Sani Abacha, who was said at a time to have given Ghana $2 million.